be illustrating the value of Rational Asset Manager to practitioners throughout the application lifecycle. In this demonstration, you'll see some examples of how RAM integrates with Eclipse-based products, with Rational Team Concert, with the build process through Ant, and also with WebSphere Service Registry and Repository and Tivoli CCMDB. So we have a lot to see. Let's go ahead and get started. So if we look here at the web interface for RAM and we go into the search area, you can search for assets. So let's search for a credit asset, and we can see there are many assets that support some kind of that respond to the credit keyword. So let's narrow this down a little bit to the specification type of assets, which is a special type of asset that you've set up as part of your taxonomy for your information library here with RAM. As you can see, we have 4 of these, and some are approved and some are specified. Let's just focus on the approved assets. And so we have 2 assets that respond to the credit keyword, have a type of specification, and are in a state of approved. Now, if you wanted to keep an eye on this particular query, you could easily do that by subscribing to it. And you could select your frequency, and then you'd be notified and kept up to date automatically for this particular query. In this demonstration today, we're going to focus on the credit verification service specification itself. So what this is a specification for an SOA service. And this particular specification has a single interface that does a credit check. So if we look at the details of the asset a little bit, we can see who the owner is, what community it's in, some of the other attributes that you've set up in your customizations. And if we look here, we have links over into Rational Team Concert, which show us some of the work items, defects, enhancements that have been associated with this particular asset. We can link right over into those if we'd like to see those details in Rational Team Concert, so we can link into the dashboard, the workspace there. We'll see more about that a little bit later. There's also a link here over into WebSphere Service Registry and Repository. Now this is an important link because an SOA specification is designed and implemented by the development team, but that's an object that needs to be shared or synchronized with the runtime registry, which is where we connect to services at runtime, in the actual operational environment. So what we have is we have SOA governance of the runtime services here in WSRR, WebSphere Service Registry and Repository, and those objects are linked with Rational Asset Manager, where things like this specification are managed and governed by the development team who creates them, but they still have to be shared with the various stakeholders as part of the governance process. So this sort of automates all of that. Now, if you look through the asset a little bit more, we can see that it's been categorized. It has a number of related assets. You can explore those. And then you also have a set of versions. Now, this was an approved asset, but there's also a newer asset, version 1.5, which has been specified. So let's take a look at this. Now, this is the new credit verification service, version 1.5, and as you can see, this one has an additional new interface that does credit score. So not only can we do a credit check, but we can also see the credit score. So that's an important enhancement here. If we look down at the details of the operations, you can see that RAM has told us that there are 2 operations here in the WSDL. We've got a credit score and a credit check. So we're already getting some important information from RAM, and you can actually use Lucene search criteria to find things like this very quickly in your source code if it's stored within Rational Asset Manager. Now if we look here again, we've got some work items, especially this one around adding the credit score, which is a major enhancement to this particular specification. Okay.